Roger does not have a camera, and so Jerry is going to introduce Roger as Roger and Jerry are associates.
Roger has been a humanware vendor for a very long time. He comes from Wisconsin, and he and I have kind of struck up a relationship trying to figure out the vagaries of the Victor Reader stream together. And he's helped me through a number of crises, sending, I've bought batteries from him and at least one, maybe two streams from you, Roger. And I call and chat when I need the down low, so to speak, on what's going on with devices, braille displays and stuff in particular. And Roger and I think we have a good cordial relationship, and I enjoy his perspective on things, and so I asked him, and he graciously was patient enough with me to, so I got the links and everything right sent to him for him to come on and chat about what he does, what products he has to offer people, and what really good advice he has. So without further ado, I will mute myself, and here's Roger Behm.
I'm Roger Behm. I've been in the business for, well, since 1995 officially. Bought the company I presently own in 2001, Adaptive Information Systems. It was located in Green Bay, and then he sold it to me in Janesville, and I've expanded our coverage of all kinds of things. But I enjoy getting this, opinions out, free Braille user guides. I have 3 embossers, the brand new embossers, and somebody wants something in Braille, I'll do it for them. Sometimes I charge them just for the paper. Other times I don't charge them at all. I enjoy what I do. Not retired. My wife is retired. I'm not. I enjoy talking to people of all ages and helping them out. And so, that's where I've been coming from. But I used to be a GW micro dealer, Freedom Scientific, a HIMS dealer, all kinds of things. Now it's strictly humanware, and the embossers from Enabling and Index, and ID Talking Galaxy barcode reader, Duxbury, and that's about it. But humanware keeps me super busy because they're always coming out with new products. And the newest ones we have now that were released or talked about last August during the virtual national conventions was Buy a Brilliant Buy 40X, the new intelligent display, and you get the free Braille Note 14. And some people called me up and said, Roger, is this true? They're giving away a free. I said, yep, believe it or not. And so I took tons of orders before January of 18 of this year, because then you got a 30-year warranty and you got the free Braille Note 14 and so forth, all for $29.95. And so anyways, it's been a hot seller. Like many companies now, they can't get the chips. We are just starting to get the parts back in to ship out the 40Xs. The 20Xs, and I mean by 40 and 20 is 40 cell display and a 20X display. And so we're starting to ship again, and I've sold probably 30 some units already. And hopefully soon they will turn on the speakers. And this is a Braille display, mind you, but it has internal memory, 16 or 32 gigs, internal Wi-Fi. The 40 supports stereo speakers and a microphone. And it has 32 gigabytes internal. It has the 5G network and also the 5.0 Bluetooth chip. And they all have the Type-C charging now, thank goodness. And the 40 only has a USB standard port, where the 20X has an SD and a 20 standard USB port. They all have the humanware traditional thumb keys, home key. It runs under Linux. And they hope to have a first upgrade coming out hopefully this month. To putting Spanish and PDF files being able to open. The nice thing is they have 3 libraries on there already: the NLS Braille library, the NFB Newsline, and Bookshare. And they'll download straight to the device, and it'll save them, and you can read them with the Victor app or however. You also can import many file types to edit them, because it has internal editing. It has what they call Keysoft Lite, which, if you're familiar with Keysoft, been around for 30 years on the Braille Notes up to the Braille Note Touch Plus. And so it's very intuitive. Always have the space M for help. It's continuous scrolling. If you're one of those who like reading Braille books, you can just set it at your speed and let the Braille go by itself. It's just fantastic. The big one is 12 inches what is it, 12 by 3.5 by under an inch thick, weighing about 1.5 pounds from last I looked. The 20X is under a pound, and it's 7 by 3.25 by under an inch. And they, like I say, the little one, the 20X has only a speaker, no microphone. And the big one has a microphone, so you can record eventually to it like you can on the Victor Stream and Trek, and then stereo speakers. And they have an up-down volume, stereo headphones, things of that nature. It's I've had one since before Christmas to play with, and now I've had my demo units, and it's really nice. Unfortunately, I didn't learn Braille till I was in the teenage years, so I'm what they call an old US grade 2 Braille and a one-finger reader. So I'm slow in trying to do support with the only Braille, no speech. It is a little challenging over the phone, but I'm handling it. But that's the new products there. We still are selling the Braille No Touch Plus, and should be having an update coming out soon. It's been very popular with schools because of the 7-inch visual screen, and it has an HDMI port, which now pushes out the sound and picture. So you can hook it up, like I have some people, to a 65-inch TV, and everybody can enjoy Netflix or Hulu or whatever through your touch, and you have control of that. It also has a standard USB port and a standard SD port, and it has an earphone jack and line in jack, stereo speakers, your thumb keys, your couple Android keys, and it's running Android 8.1, which they can go up, but they probably won't unless there's really a big need for it. It's just a lot of hassle updating to 10 when if it does 8.1 works, so be it. It does wireless printing, wireless embossing to the new embossers. You can do Zoom on it. You can do Google Meet on it. You can do Skype on it. Listen to music, YouTube, movies, you name it. But it's an awesome device, and it's a 21 pixel camera. I make a portable scanning stand that collapses. So for people who don't want to have to hold this thing up and get it over, you put it on my stand. It works great for a smartphone, smart tablet, and the touch. And there's some great, I'm sure some of you are aware of the apps out there. The one called Speak, SPEAK AI. It's from Israel. It's free, and it works fantastic. And I'm sure he's made it for Android and Apple. And I have a gentleman who teaches Sunday school. He's 70 some years old. He has my stand. He puts his touch up there. He puts the print Bible stuff under there. He goes to speak. He scans it. When he's done scanning 2, 3, 4 pages, he goes to the thing says more options. He hits enter, and the first choice is copy text to clipboard. Fantastic. All that stuff he scanned is now in clipboard. Then he goes and opens up keyword, a blank DOC document on his touch, pastes it in, and now he has it there and he can edit it, do what he wants, see it in Braille, the whole schmear. And that's one of the many. Envision AI is another one, Tap Tap See. There's SuperSense. Seeing AI is only available on iOS, but there's a lot of things you can take advantage of with that camera. And the nice thing about Speak is you don't have to be connected to the internet. And it does. I haven't tried it, but it says it does handwriting. I'm assuming pretty decent handwriting. Print, does barcode reading, color identifier, and things of that nature. But there's all kinds of great apps. And of course, whether it's iOS or Android, they can't guarantee it's going to work because there's 2 million apps. So it's kind of a trial and error in that stuff on it to see if it works or not. And there's a lot of listservs, the Brown listserv and others that you can join. There's also one now on the 20X and 40X that Peter Tusick, our ambassador to a blindness product, set up. So there's a lot of ways of getting help from other people to find out what works best and how to do this and that. And I give free support, even if it's people who didn't buy from me. As long as they're decent to me, I'll be decent to them. And if they want a Braille user guide for the Victor Stream or Trek or certain things, I'll do it for them and just send it free to them. I do the UEB strip down, no fancy stuff. I found out how to do that now with Duxbury, so you don't get all this extra punctuation marks and everything else. But anyways, I've always supported people and I've helped them whether or not, because when I started, there was only a few people to help me, and there wasn't all this resources of tutorials and all this podcasts and things. And if it wasn't for my blind friend who's a blind computer programmer in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and my brother who was a sighted computer programmer for back then Wisconsin Bell, I didn't know how to do DOS. I mean, I saw the DOS prompt. I was like, yeah, so it says C:// Now what? It took me 6 months to finally understand it, get used to it. And then Windows came, and that was another hurdle. But I love it since XP on. It's great. I got computers with 10 and computers with 7, many of those. And believe it or not, I'm talking to you on an XP Pro Dell computer that's 10 years old, maybe. but I do a majority of my business with it because some of the applications I use, recordings and burning CDs only work on XP. And so I keep using that, and I do, hundreds of thousands of dollars of business, pay my charge cards and order stuff from Amazon, you name it. And of course, like this, doing a Zoom meeting. So, there's no reason, as long as you keep your antivirus up to date on any machine, you're safe. But, Microsoft doesn't support 7 or X, but doesn't mean you can't use XP or 7 if you're comfortable with it. And I'm still using Windows on those, and even got Windows on 10. It's not perfect, but I was my first choice of screen readers, but I use Narrator. And if you know Doug Joffrey from Jeter Micro, he now works for the past years for Narrator. And if you look at Narrator screen reader, it's becoming more and more like a Windows. And I use NVDA. It does a great job. And those are 2 free screen readers on Windows 10. So why pay? But I put all 4, and I have JAWS because I support some people with JAWS. So I have 4 screen readers on my Windows 10 computer. But it's fantastic with the stuff out there. And of course, the Victor Stream 2 is on its last lap. I've been hounding them ever since Robert Panetta was head of the Victor program in, I think, 2019 at CSUN. And unfortunately, he went back to the medical field in Canada, but he was a great engineer. And we went to the HERE maps, which are Navtech, but now called HERE, H-E-R-E. They're as accurate as Google. Now the HERE maps, you can download them to the computer, put them on, takes the whole process of 20 minutes. You're up to date with the new maps, and you have the new feature on the Victor Trek, which sometimes people get mixed up. It's not a new Victor Trek. It's the same one that came out in November of 17, but it's new maps, and they have the map browsing mode on it now. So it's kind of, if you're familiar with Sendero on the Apex and Apex and other ones, I can now sit there and I can put my virtual starting point on my Victor Trek at Jerry's home, and I can walk around his city and say, hey, Jerry, you got a McDonald's a half a mile away, or a Starbucks, or an ATM machine. So it's nice if you're going someplace or going traveling just in your own city and you want to maybe drive or walk it ahead of time, so you kind of get a feel of where you're going. It's a great thing, and it does the same features of looking up points of interest, and you can bookmark them, or mark them at points of interest for you. It's a lot faster. I mean, I don't even sell, and I hate to say it, but I don't sell the Stream anymore because I've had so many difficulties with it since they put a inferior speaker in last summer. With now, I just got a new box of Victor Treks, and unfortunately, it's got the bad speaker. So luckily, with the Victor Trek, I've been selling at a real discount a stereo Bluetooth speaker, which is super loud. It runs for 24 hours, has the 5.0 Bluetooth chip, and I thought, the Victor doesn't have that in it, but it worked beautiful. And the nice thing about it, it's 9 ounces, 7 inches by 1.75 inches by 2.5. And they didn't make it for blind people in a sense, but on the top, there's 4 buttons. One has a minus, one has a plus, and you can feel it. That's up and down volume. It has a 0 key. I call it 0. And if you hold it in, you'll hear it go, and then your Bluetooth is active. And then there's a kill one too. It's only 4 buttons, and they claim it's waterproof, but I have not gone out and thrown it in my hot tub to see if it's waterproof. I forget it and then stuff on it. But the nice thing is I found out a lot of Bluetooth speakers are coming with built-in mic. They work great as a speakerphone for your smartphone or tablet. And so in fact, a friend of mine in Lansing called me up on it. And so, how's it sound? He said, pretty darn good. But the nice thing too, in the back, there's a rubber plug. And if you open that up, under there, there's a micro USB for charging, same cable you use for your Stream and your Trek. Then there's an 1/8 inch female jack. So if you want to wired your Stream or some other device to it, you can be a wired speaker. And then it has a micro USB SD card slot. So you can put, like I did, hundreds of my MP3 albums on it, slip the card in. And so when I turn it on, I can hit the 0 key first. It comes up with playing from the micro card. Hit it second. If I have something hooked up to the 1/8 inch wired, it plays that. And if I hit it the third time, it comes through with my Victor Trek or other Bluetooth device. So it's really durable and small, lightweight, and it's really a nice device. So I've been giving that to people sort of compensate for the bad speaker now they're putting in the Victor Treks, or even for the Victor Streams, because you can wire it. And so it's really nice and has about a 60-foot range, so I can walk anywhere around my house pretty much and leave my Victor Trek in my office and listen to what I want to listen to with a strap on it. So that's the thing I'm doing. But I talked to some of them at HumanWare, and they're working on the problem with the speakers. And I've been a very strong advocate for put out a Victor 3. I'm hoping many of you filled out the form that they had doing a survey back in February, I think 2 weeks, and then it quit on March 2nd, asking you, what do you want to see in your Victor 3? Just like they did in, I think it was 2010, 11 or 12. What did you want to see in your Victor 2? And they do listen. And in fact, that's why people ask, why didn't they put a Bluetooth and the FM radio, in the stream? Because of the survey, less than 5% wanted Bluetooth or an FM radio. Of course, now everybody wants it. So they're being careful what they're saying is going to be on the new 20 and 40X. I've been begging on my knees to the vice president and to other people, please put speech in it. You put the TTS engine in the stream in the Trek. I mean, this has more memory, more power, newer. Put it in there for people like me who are a one finger braille reader. And you got speakers. Come on, man. Put NLS audiobooks on there, and hopefully Audible books can be on this like the other ones. So it does work. New 20X and 40X works really sweet. Windows 10 with NVDA and JAWS, because they have the new universal braille driver. So Bluetooth, wow, or USB, and you can hook them up that way too. But people like the 40 and the 20 cells, and it's the first intelligent braille display that I've ever heard that speakers and has a 5-point Bluetooth chip and all that. We also sell the embossers, and I bought a bunch of them when they first came out in 2016, the Index Basic D5. And if you look at the Basic D5 and the Juliet 120 and the Romeo 60, which is 60 is only a single-sided, I don't know, they all look the same case. They're all made by Index now, but they use the Juliet software. And the Interpoint ones, the Juliet 120 actually does 150 characters per, I guess it's per minute. Anyways, it's faster than heck. They're still louder than heck. The Index does a little slower, not much. And then Romeo does just single-sided, but they up to 11-inch wide. You can wireless. They claim, I haven't tried it because I'm not a real iPhone user, but they say you can send files from your smartphone or tablet to these embossers, knowing their IP address, and you can print from them. You can do it from the Braille No Touch. Plus, a lot of my customers who bought these embossers, you can emboss straight from a flash drive, USB flash drive, and they do, 6, 7 different file types. And you can set your embosser to be UEB, grade 2, grade 1, US grade 1, grade 2, and that stuff, and how many characters and all the stuff like you do in Duxbury, but it can all be done through a USB flash drive. And I have some people who don't even own a computer, but they'll put the files, they get on there and then have them embossed. And, you can do jumbo braille, sideways braille, brochures, picture images, and all that kind of stuff. It's really fantastic. And so that's how I've been offering a lot of free embossing for people, because I own Duxbury and I own 2 Juliets and 1 Index, and I lend them out to teachers here in Wisconsin so they can see it. But they're nice. It's just they're still noisy. So either find a closet or put earplugs in, because they're noisier than heck. But they're real nice. And in fact, the embossers, you can do 5 different ways of embossing. Your standard USB from Duxbury computer, your, as I mentioned, US flash drive. You can also do it from your favorite browser. If your Index or Juliet's hooked up to your computer, you start, say, Firefox or Chrome, and you type in the IP address that the embosser will give you verbally. And then it brings up, and now you can totally control all the stuff for your embosser through your browser. You can also do it, like I say, Bluetooth and wireless. So you have many ways of embossing to these new embossers. They're only 27 pounds in the box, not this 50, 60 pound stuff. And there's no more keyboard or anything else. It treats it like a regular printer. I put the paper in, and it's tractor fed, which is more accurate. And I say emboss, it sucks it in, puts it at the top of the document, prints it, sticks it out so you can tear it off. I don't do anything else. I just go to the next document, it sucks it back in, starts embossing, and then I just tear it off. And so it's really nice. And a lot of schools around here, our blind school and others have them. So in their case, anywhere they are on campus, they just pick the embosser, have it embossed, go down and see it, or their touches, they have embossed, know which embosser, and go down and get it. It's really fantastic. Those days of the old days of the numeric keypad and, oh God, installing a LPT or serial port is just, this is so nice. It's all USB, has drivers. You plug it in, it comes up under your printer's devices, and there you go. No problem at all. I'm trying to think. We do have some other low vision products. We have a 5-inch and an 8-inch Explorer. They're handheld digital magnifiers. They have a new one supposedly coming out this August, which I guess even bigger. None of them have speech, but they all scan and distance and things of that nature. We also have the 2 new Reveal products, the Reveal 16 and the Reveal 16i. The Reveal 16, I think is a high price, but they sell for $3,000. It has a 7-hour battery life, or you can plug it in, has a carrying case, has a distance camera and an OCR camera. You can't save any images, but you can zoom in, and when you turn it off, everything's, gone. But it's under 16 pounds, so you can carry it around, and it's easy to set up and turn on and use it for color high definition. The difference between it and the 16i, well, besides $1,000, it has 3 cameras: close up, OCR, and distance, and it has a 7.1 Android tablet built in. So you have total access to do anything you want on the internet, to go to Bookshare, get books, bring them down, to scan in. It has memory, so you can capture stuff. You can send it to a thumb drive and all this. And again, it runs on a battery for 6-7 hours, weighs under 16 pounds, has a carrying case, rolling bag, or carrying case over your shoulder. And you can get an XY table for those who still like having an XY table, though it's about $650. But otherwise you put the image under there, scan it, and then you can manipulate the image through your 16-inch high definition monitor, which comes on both. They still have some of the Prodigy desktop models left, and they're selling for under $1,600, and they're real nice for people who don't care about to have something portable. And I still have those, but I guess they're not going to carry them after they run out, and there's not many left with that. And we have the Prodigy Connect 12, which is using an Android tablet, and I'm hoping that soon they'll be upgrading that because it's running a 6.1 Android, and it's a 12.2 screen, and it's mounted into aluminum portable stand that has lights, extra lights, and speakers, and it has a distance camera, Kodak camera, 25x or 10x. You can save images, do pretty much everything you want on it as you would do on the Reveal 16i, because it's Android, and you set up all kinds of stuff, hook up a wireless QWERTY keyboard, you can hook up a HDMI cord to shoot it to a bigger monitor, just many things you can do with these. But they've been a great company to be with. And the best thing about the Victor Stream and Trek, there's nothing out there that does what it does. And as some people complain on the Stream List and others, I'm not holding a gun to you. If you don't like it, you think the price is too high, fine. Nobody's saying you have to buy from us. Go find something that does what it does. You aren't going to find it. You might be cheaper, but it's not going to be able to do all the things it does. So I'm just glad there's a company out there and companies that are still doing Braille and still doing audio and screen readers and things of this nature, because we've lost a lot of choices in the last couple decades, unfortunately. And so I try to praise the companies for doing it, compliment them, and I complain to them right up to the CEO of Humanware and them if I think something's wrong or they're not treating the customer right. But I think, and the other thing too is I did and I do sell the ID talking barcode reader Galaxy. But I'm sure some of you saw the announcement they're discontinuing it. They're getting out of it, unfortunately. And the only thing right now they're supporting and selling is the Galaxy, as long as they have parts. I enjoyed it. Does better than the iPhones and Android phones, and telling you how to cook it, how many calories, all that stuff you don't want to hear about calories and fat. But it really works nice. But I guess they're going to Strictly, and I guess they make more money doing Script Talk. And if you haven't familiar with Script Talk, which I just joined over a year ago because now I'm on my own drug plan, and Walmart is all Walmarts around the United States are doing it for free. You get the $250 Script Talk device from Envision America in Florida, and then you tell your pharmacy that you want the Script Talk label put on it. So when you get it, like I just picked mine up last week, and you just to bring the bottle home, and I lay it on the device. There's this place, you just lay it on there, you hit the button, it goes beep, 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 and it says Roger.behmais subscription, Dr. Ramsey, blah, blah, blah. It tells you everything about it. So you can't screw up and take the wrong pills, and it's totally free. And the Script Talk device probably about as big as a Braille and speaker, a little bigger, but it has AC or battery, and I think it has an earphone. I didn't look at that, but I was just amazed. And so I just go to Walmart every 90 days to pick up my subscription and remind them, please put the Script Talk label on, and then I don't need anybody to tell me or try to scan it. It just does it automatically and quite fast. So that's another device that, I can tell you where to get it from, Script Talk, and they're from Envision America in Florida. That's another product. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much everything. I got my phone turned off, but my barcode reader's reading. Anyways, I think that's pretty much covers everything I sell. So I guess if people want to ask questions on that.
Yeah, Roger, it's Jerry.
Yep.
I just wondered, how much are those index embossers going for, the basic one?
Yeah, they used to be cheaper. They used to get right now. All the embossers come with 2-year warranty, and they had a big special a couple years ago. You could get 3 years warranty, and I passed on the 600 savings. But right now, the Index Basic D is double sided, $3,995. I discount it by a couple $100 and free shipping. The Juliet 120 goes for $44.95. Again, I discount it $200 and free shipping. The Romeo 60, I think, sells for $34.95, and I discount it $150.
Okay. And what about the Bluetooth speaker that you talked about? How much?
That I sell. If you buy with the Victor Trek, I sell it for 25. If you buy it independent, it's 45 plus 10 shipping, priority mail. And then you call me up and I tell you how to use it in case you're confused.
Yeah. Okay. I confuse easily these days.
No problem.
I'll tell you. No, that's great. You're still selling batteries and stuff for the screens, right?
I carry batteries for the Touch and for the Stream and the Trek, because the Stream and Trek use the same batteries, and you know, all that kind of stuff. I still support the leather cases from Al Executive Products. He makes some awesome cases, so I sell those too.
He does. I'm still using the one you sold me last time. I love it. You know,
they'll last forever.
In your website, where can we find this information so we can read at our own?
Pretty much I put everything on and I have 2 websites, but my business one is www.adaptiveinformation. That's one word slammed, or 2 words slammed together, adaptiveinformation.org. And pretty much, if you go to the support/download page, I have tons of stuff under manuals and update for all kinds of things. And under the manuals, there's a lot of MP3 tutorials, DAISY tutorials, documentation. And just go to that and you'll find tons of it. And I keep trying to put stuff up, or people say, hey, you don't got it up. I'll try to stick it up right away. My other entertainment one, if you like DVS movies, sound only, or old time radio. And then Ray Rakita, his stage name is Ray Starr, and he does a lot of country music. He has been for, I don't know, 50 years. He has his Audible country music magazine and text magazine up there. And don't laugh, but we are from Wisconsin. So my webpage is www.cheeseheadhosting.us. Because we're Cheesehead.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you just go to cheese, like you eat, head, like on your shoulder, hosting, HOSTING.us, there's only 2 links. It says send Ray an email or enter Ray's World. And if you enter Ray's World, there's all kinds of stuff under there, hundreds of thousands of old time magazines. And I got 4 different things of DVS movies. I just put up season 5 and 6 of Grace and Frankie, or it will be Grace and Frankie.
Oh, nice.
And that stuff. So there's tons of things on there, and I think 6,000 or 7,000 different movies, and they're only video or only audio. So if you got somebody wants a video, too bad, because then you're violating the rights.
Yeah, are they free downloads, Roger? Those movies?
I don't charge nothing. No, heck no. I put anything up there because I have unlimited websites, so I have a couple terabytes up there on both web pages.
Wow.
And I just keep putting stuff up there. But my computer dude here in Janesville turned me on to Host Monster Unlimited. I pay, I think it's like $400 some every 3 years. I mean, I was paying $400. I was paying $400 for 40 gigabytes, and he said, "Oh no, go to this." So I've been with Host Monster for years, and I just upload with FTP Explorer, and Ray does his magazines, and just it's all free. I don't charge nothing.
Yeah.
So those 2 websites, then you had adaptiveinformation.org is your business.
Yep.
And cheeseheadhosting.us is your entertainment website.
And
okay.
No download of beer or brats, unfortunately. I can't figure out how to do that. Can't do that yet, but boy, we love our tailgating. They finally let us do it for the Brewers again, so now you can tailgate again.
We'll include those links in the notes for the audio recording.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, the smell of cooking brats, if I could give that to you, man, you'd be drooling in the mouth.
Yeah. I just got turned on to the air fryer. I really love it.
That is nice. My daughter has it. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wonder if you have ever brailled any of those air fryer manuals.
Nope. I know there's companies like Horizon for the Blind in Illinois does a lot of that stuff. I know they charge. But I mean, if somebody sent me it and on PDF, not scanned in, but a true PDF or a docs, I'm braille it for you. I did somebody from an NLS book. They wanted a 3-volume, I think it was a music, church music stuff, and
Oh,
didn't
wow.
emboss her. NLS wouldn't let her do it. Oh, you can't do that unless you got your own embosser. I said, what the heck? So she gave me the book. I opened it up. I gave 3 volumes, labeled it, everything else, sent it to her. Said, that's bull. And that stuff. Just because who can afford an embosser? I mean, they aren't cheap.
No, they are not cheap. And,
No,
and
but they do a
unless you
great
had
job.
unless you had a real good use, like, VABVI
Yeah, if you use
does,
a lot, it's worth the
yeah,
expense. A lot of people do
yeah.
and some don't. But, for those who love Braille, and I support Braille 100%, even though I'm a one-finger reader, I think it's always been important to have Braille. We have the right to see the printed word. We can't help Braille cost so much. We didn't ask to be blind, so damn it, we got the right to see the Braille, and we want the print word. And school's the biggest, sometimes hard to convince them.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the whole Focus 40, Freedom Scientific, is that manual brailled up there?
I have no idea. I got, if anybody wants a cheap one, I got 2 Packmate 40s and a Focus 40 that are still working fine with JAWS. You can have them for $200 each. But I haven't seen their manuals because a lot of times they don't put a lot of that stuff up there. I had to get the JAWS hotkeys for controlling a Braille display and through certain things like that.
If you got Windows, try.
Oh God, Narrator supports. It still supports over 40 Braille displays. That was Doug Joffrey's hand in that stuff. And so it's fantastic. The nice speech now you get in Windows 10 and just the ability, because it still does stuff that JAWS and others won't do. And at least you have an option. When you use Windows, you have options of 3 or 4 or 5 screen readers. So that's the thing I like about it. If you don't like, NVDA, go to JAWS. You don't like that, go to NVDA, go to Narrator, or go to Dolphin. I mean, there's so many you can do, and you can have your choice. And not all work the same either. Sometimes NVDA works better than something else.
Yeah, I've noticed that JAWS handles PDFs pretty well, and at our company here we do a lot of PDF transmission back and forth.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I know. And
I use a free Adobe, and that works fine on my XP. And then I use Adobe Pro, and I can scan my own documents in, and everything on my computers now are all saved accessible Adobe. I don't do any more printing if I have to.
You sell Duxbury for the Mac too, Rog?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a little higher price, not much, but I discount them anyways. I mean, I think it's $6.95 for regular Duxbury, and then maybe Mac might be a little more. I can't remember, but I sell them both. Well, their support from Duxbury is awesome. I mean, I talked to Dan about getting my thing authorized, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. I should be hit for that, but he's blind, and I sold him a used Braille display. And I mean, I called him this week for some questions, and he just knows his stuff backwards and forwards. He lives in New York, and he does all the tech support for Duxbury, and he's awesome. And if you ever call Humanware, the 4 people they have now, they just got hired Alex. He's in Montreal. He's really good. And then they have Steve in Ontario. They have Cheryl, who used to work for Enabling, now works for us. She lives in Florida, right across the street from Enabling. And then we have Gabe out in California. All of them are blind. They all use this stuff, and they know their stuff.
No, it's Humanware now.
Yep. Humanware. Yep. They're awesome. Otherwise, they call me, because on weekends and nights I'm here. Nobody else is there. So I answer the phone 7 days a week, and they go, God, are you nuts? But no, I know where they've been. I've been there where I couldn't call for anybody. Best Buy is not going to know what you're talking about. And all these poor people have Windows 10, and they don't have it set up right. And when I'm doing support, I said, oh, God, I said, you must have had that set up by a sighted person. Yeah, well, I didn't know anything. I said, okay, well, let's try to go the back door in here to get to this PC and this and that stuff.
Yeah. I was curious because I have you and your buddy there, Barry Schroeder, on next week, and one of the things I was curious about to talk to our folks about is, what is there any kind of special difficulty trying to sell this stuff as a blind vendor? I know there's a lot of positives because how we live and how we do, but what barriers or impediments have you had?
Well, for me, it's the only thing I have is low vision. I know because I turned speech and I could do that pretty good. But I got my daughter that she uses it in college now. My wife worked at the blind school for 20 years. And so I turn stuff over to her if they have to do it, or I tell them to call Humanware in the open hours to help them out with that. But people said, oh, well, you probably went to school. I said, no, I learned by the seat of my pants and communicating with people like you and others, and wrote it all down in my Braille note, which I have probably 400 or 500 tech tips, because some of that stuff I'm never going to remember. But it wasn't hard. Mostly it was, I learned Dell computers have been a godsave. I've been with them for 20 some years. They work perfect. I still got Dell computers that are 15 years old or older, still working fine with XP 7, even some older ones working with Windows 10. and that stuff. So I stick with what works. And I tell people my 2 cents worth, and they can take it or leave it. I don't care. I'm just telling what I've figured. I'm using right now the Envision glasses from Envision AI. Still learning how to use that. You know, I'm beta testing. I used to beta test the Brainport Vision device from YCAP, where I could actually read storefronts, stop signs, house numbers, find stuff on the grass. It was black and white, but it was actual images instantly, real live, and it stimulates your visual cortex. And I had seen before, so that helps a lot, reading cards and numbers and things of this nature. But I could shoot baskets and hit the bucket 15 feet away probably 8 out of 10 times once you got the distance down. And so I always like beta testing stuff all the time. Otherwise, I can give you my email address or my phone number. Feel free to bug me 7 days a week. I'm here. As long as you treat me nice, I'll treat you great. It's phone number is 608-758-0933. That's 608-758-0933. I have 2 Gmail accounts. My one is A's Tech, AIS, the initials of my business, AISTECH, 2001, the year I bought the company, at gmail.com. So A's Tech 2001 at gmail.com. If it's easier to remember, it's Roger, ROGER, period, Behm, BEHM, period, AIS at gmail.com. And I check both of those many times a day, and I answer from about 8 in the morning Central Time to 8:30 at night Central Time, 7 days a week if I'm home. And right now I'm not going anywhere. I have my first live show in Green Bay next month, so it'll be interesting to see how that is. I'm glad to talk to anybody.
I want to thank you personally and professionally, you know, for joining us, Roger. I think it's been great, and you've been really helpful, and we know a lot about the field.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, because I like getting the word out, whether they buy from me or not. I just want to get them armed with correct information and not wrong information if I know it. And if I don't, I'm going to tell them what I know and what I don't know, and I'll try to find out too if they're willing. But you know,
And we do have a raised hand, Roger. Florida again. Go ahead.
Yes. Hey, thanks, Roger. Again, one more question under descriptive videos. Do you have anything for kids?
Oh yeah, I have 10th grandchildren coming. I have a lot of Disney's. But yeah, there's a lot of kid stuff and adult, and you know, a documentary and stuff like that too.
Well, thank you so much.
And I thank you again for having me.
Thanks for coming, Roger. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Jerry.
I'll be in touch, Roger. Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.